Welcome back everyone, my name is Eltimar and we are going to be continuing our Let's Play of Shadowrun Dragonfall. Where we left off last time, we had a bit of problems with our run. We lost Monica to a biofeedback, which did kill her. And now we've arrived back at our sort of headquarters area, which looks very industrial and cool. You step inside and the squalor of the disused U-Bahn tunnel gives way to the warmth of your safe house. A man waits inside, silhouetted against the dim fluorescent lighting. Something bad has happened, hasn't it? He steps forward, revealing a pale and expressionless face, light glinting off of steel-rimmed glasses. Paul Amsel, your team's fixer and landlord. Part dealmaker, part information broker, one of the most well-connected men in Berlin. His eyes sweep across the team as he takes it all in. The grim faces, the hard stares, Iger's fury, Monica's absence. I had a feeling. How did she... His face has gone ashen. He swallows. Takes a moment to chew out the words before spitting them out. How did it happen? Something in the vault security system got her while she was checked in. It was over in an instant. I've seen Monica hit black icy before. This was something worse. Glory nods, her motions robotic and spare. By sparse? Monica died of a biofeedback-induced stroke. That's right, Iger thrust a gloved finger into your chest, and this idiot stood by and let it happen. Ignore it. Let it happen? She jacked in, she screamed, and she seized. By the time we saw she was in trouble, it was already too late. Yeah, because you never bothered learning what to look for. Muscle contractions and micro-tremors are good indicators of a Decker in distress. I'm assuming you didn't have anyone keeping an eye out for those. No, if you had, my friend would be lying dead in a basement. Oh, shove off, Iger. We were all on the lookout for physical security, Eltimar included. Throwing him under the bus isn't going to help anything. Under a bus is exactly where he belongs. Iger turns to face Dietrich. She towers over him, but he stands his ground. I respect you, Dietrich. You know that, but you don't have my training. None of you have. Monica was good. She was the best, right? But she was also overconfident. She treated the job like it was a game. Do that long enough, and you're gonna get burned. She turns her focus back to us. If you'd been paying attention, you'd have figured all this out on your own by now. You'd have known that Monica needed watching as much as that door. Enough, Iger. Amsel's voice is hoarse, his expression blank. Enough. Iger pushes ahead, heedless of the interruption. Her voice remains measured, but there's fire in her eyes. How many seconds between Monica's first convulsion and her plug getting pulled? 4? 5? Do you know how much damage biofeedback can do to a Decker's brain in 5 seconds? Iger, I don't... You don't have to answer that, of course you know. Monica died while you stood there and watched. This is all your That is enough! Amsel's voice comes out in a roar and his fist smashes down on the desk behind him. Iger, you and Eltimar can have it out later, but I've had enough. We need to talk action. Our client sent you into something much bigger than he led us to believe. I want to know why. Right there with you. This was supposed to be a milk run. Feedback isn't the only reason why we need to find him. We saw something back there, something that we weren't supposed to see. It's fair to assume that we're all still in danger. He pauses, rubs his temples. Agreed. And we need to neutralize that danger. We need to know who we're dealing with. Let us review the events that transpired that night. The smallest detail could be important, so hold nothing back. Monica lived long enough to say a name. Fürschwinge. She fought hard to tell us. It must be important. Amsel seems taken aback. He pauses for a moment before responding. The Fire Wing? This is... unexpected. You'll have to forgive me. This brings back many unpleasant memories. Glory raises an eyebrow. The Fire Wing? The most terrible of the great dragons. There are those who would disagree, but they never experienced the terror of living in her shadow. He glances at Glory. You are far too young to remember her, of course, but for Germans of my generation, the name Fürschwinge is synonymous with chaos, destruction, and death. The dragons of today are subtle creatures, full of patience and guile. Fürschwinge was not. After her awakening, she went on a 4-month rampage that claimed tens of thousands of lives. Ansel takes a deep breath, slowly releases it. There's a haunted look in his eyes. Those were dark days. Countless men, women, and children were slaughtered, roasted alive in their homes by a creature of legend. No hope for salvation, and no end in sight. It was a horror that you cannot begin to understand. What stopped her? I can't imagine that a rampaging dragon would just go away on its own. Eventually the Fire Wing was brought down by a man named Dr. Adrian Vauclair, well, with the help of the Luftwaffe, of course, but it was experimental weapons designed by Dr. Vauclair that finally pierced her hide. She fell in a hail of bullets and rocket fire, and crashed down in the radioactive wasteland of the SOX. This event was called the Dragonfall. Safe at last from the dragon's wrath, Germany celebrated Vauclair as a hero. Our own Siegfried, a modern-day dragon slayer. My own family practically worshipped the man. If the Dragonfall was important an event as you make it out to be, I'm surprised I've never heard of it. Those early years of the Awakening were traumatic, Iger, not on a national level, but on a global scale. New species of awakened animals were being discovered daily. Within 2 years of the Dragonfall, the active use of magic had returned to the world, a new source of terror for a bewildered public. And in 2021, the sudden emergence of orcs and trolls gave rise to yet another wave of global panic. In light of such turmoil, is it any surprise that Dr. Vauclair and Firewing were forgotten? Dragons were yesterday's news. He rubs his temples. Again, all this happened decades ago. To the best of my knowledge, the story of Fürschwinge is a bit of a historical trivia, and nothing more. Alright, so Monica spent her dying breath to tell us about a long-dead dragon. Iger sweeps her gaze across the group, searching for some glimmer of insight. Finally, she gives up. Any ideas as to why? Amsel's voice trembles with frustration. No, it doesn't make any more sense to me than it does to you. The Dragonfall is ancient history. Fürschwinge has been dead and gone for 42 years. But there's one thing I do know. Whatever Monica saw, whatever she was trying to tell us, it was important. He visibly struggles to calm himself and takes a deep breath and slowly releases it. I will look into this. I will find answers. In the meantime, did you turn up anything else of value? After everything went to hell, we were confronted by an orc in military-grade armor. He appeared to be the head of security. That is not much to go on. Do any details about this orc come to mind? Any distinguishing features I could look into? He was an older guy for one. From the sound of his voice, I'm guessing mid to late 40s. Pretty old for an orc. And he had skin grafts. Most of his face looked like replacement material. If the grafts came from a legitimate hospital, there may be medical records. That is something. I'll see what I can find out. Did you take note of anything else during the run that may be of value? The estate was just a front for whatever was going on in the basement. Amsel nods. That much is clear. It wasn't a minor enterprise either. That facility took serious funds to build. And time. There was more to it than we saw. Places like that don't spring up overnight. And all in secret. The owners, whoever they may be, were none too pleased by your escape, I'm sure. What else did you find? That's it. That's not much. Amsel nods. His face is drawn and haggard. It is thin, I agree. A basement, a middle-aged orc with skin grafts, and a long-forgotten world event. Wait, we're still missing something. Who paid for this run? Amsel looks pained. I do not know his exact identity. I did not set up the run. Monica did. His face reddens. I warned her. I told her not to take the job, but she assured me that it would be a cakewalk. Monica was approached recently by a man who calls himself Green Winters. He used to be a prominent activist in the F-state political scene. Never much liked the man, and I certainly never trusted him. But Monica, she would do anything for her cause, anything for the Flux state. He sighs. Winters swore that the data he was after was crucial to ensuring the future stability of the Flux. And that was all it took. It sounds like Green Winters is our best lead then. Yes, most definitely. It is clear that Green Winters has involved us in something much larger than he'd led Monica to believe. When he finds out what happened on the run, he's gonna grab it. We better chase him down before that happens. Any leads? There's a man here in the Kreuzbasar, a Turk by the name of Altug Barakazi. He owns a little soy-calf shop just down the way called Cafe Xvim. This man is also a purveyor of information. I have done business with him from time to time. Do you think he would know something about Green Winters? Amsel nods. When I discovered Monica's renewed association with Green Winters, I contacted Altug. One of his people has been keeping tabs on Winters ever since. As I said, I do not trust the man. Pragmatic. Sounds like it's time I pay Altug a visit. Yes, tell him I sent you. I will do what I can to dig the information that you've uncovered already, sparse though it may be. We got 5 karma for that, and our team is dispersing. We can talk to a dog named Dante. It says, as you start towards the safe house door, a large 4-legged form steps around the corner. Dante, Monica's dog, an enormous mongrel of indeterminate breed. A low whimper emerges as he enters the room, head hanging low. Oh shit, Dante. Dietrich shakes his head. Don't worry, boy, we'll look after you. At the sight of Monica's dog, Amsel's eyes well up. He inhales but can't quite catch his breath. He started whimpering about an hour ago, turned into a full-blown howl. Wouldn't stop. Kept. He closes his eyes. That's when I realized something bad had happened. Looking down into those huge brown eyes, you see intelligence and sadness. He lets out a small whine and rubs his head against you. Let's give him some soy jerky treats. Dante takes the treat in his mouth, but it's clear he has no appetite for it, and the jerky drops to the floor. He leans into you and looks up mournfully, crushing his ribs against your leg. I guess the dog is going with you, Eltimar. Ansel takes a raggedy breath and releases it. Then a slow, melancholy smile plays across his face. Well, perhaps the part of Monica lives on in Dante. Return to the safe house when you're finished with Altug, mein Freund. With a little luck, he can help us locate Green Winters, and we can get to the bottom of this. He stares at the floor. And now I think we should all take a moment. His lips tighten. For Monica. Alright, let's go take a look around. We'll talk to some people. Dietrich? Dietrich turns his head at your approach. His aging face is traced with a network of faint scars, the legacy of too many fights over too many years. While he still retains a degree of strength and vigor, it's obvious that the shaman you see today is a shadow of his former self. Despite all of this, there's an aura of power surrounding the man. He raises his bottle, offering it to you. Eltimar, welcome. I got a bottle of schnapps that needs sharing. We've got a fallen our comrade to drink to. I'll take the bottle. To Monica, Prost. The liquor in the bottle is crystal clear, and as you raise it, you catch an intoxicating whiff of cloves and caramel. A taste of sweet corn and walnuts with a lingering aftertaste of buttery toffee. You swallow a swig, then return the bottle to Dietrich's outstretched hand. He takes a long pull on the bottle, then locks eyes with you. Let me ask you a question, Eltimar. What made you choose to come to Berlin? Why do you want to know? Monica told me that you moved here from the Ruhr megaplex. Made it sound like you'd been there for a good many years. Successful years at that. Leads a man to wonder why you packed up and moved here. A member of my old crew betrayed me. Ain't that a pisser? I can handle all sorts of things, but betrayal always makes me see red. There were extenuating circumstances. If he didn't do what he did, his family would have paid the price. That's rough, but it's still on him, not you. He should have been more careful. What did you do? What could I do? I faked my own death. It was the only way to save his family's lives. Wouldn't have been my choice, but good on you, I suppose. All the same, Eltimar, saints don't tend to last very long in this line of work. Trust me. I've watched enough of them to know, watched enough of them by it to know. Okay, so you faked your own death, bailed the rest of your team, and made your way here to Berlin. Am I getting that right? More or less. There wasn't much left for me in the Ruhrplex, and Monica made me a hell of an offer. Ah, yes, Monica. Dietrich raises his bottle again, then closes his eyes and takes a long drink. After the moment has passed, he returns his attention to you. It all comes back to our girl, doesn't it? So let me ask you, what was your relationship with Monica anyway? I know you two knew each other knew each other way back, but she was pretty coy about these things. Why do you want to know? Monica was my friend, I cared about her, Dietrich shrugs. I don't know. I guess that I just wanted to get to know her better. There were some areas of her life that have always been a mystery, and if you could shed any light on them, I'd be appreciative. I can respect that. So what was the deal between the two of you? Don't leave me in suspense. We were very close. Dietrich nods, figured as much. Not from anything you or Monica said, just had a suspicion. Well, anyway, good on you both. He raises his bottle and salutes. She was a wonderful woman, and I hope that your time together was happy. Anyway, I've taken enough of your time and the bottle's almost empty. Thank you for taking the time to talk. For what it's worth, I'm happy you're here with us. Dietrich takes a final pull on the bottle, then tips it forward, pouring the rest on the ground. Rest in peace, Monica. We'll miss you, girl. That's how you get ants, by the way. Iger and Glory are both here. Let's take a quick look in this other room first, though. I'm gonna pause for just 1 second, and I'll be right back. Alright, we are back. Let's talk to some people. Iger is here. Iger glares at you, and you can taste the bile in her stare. She clearly still blames you for Monica's death. Something I can do for you, fearless leader? We need to talk about Monica. Not right now, we don't. Don't push me on this, Eltimar. One of these days, we're gonna hash this out. And you can talk all you like about the clusterfuck that killed one of my best friends, but it won't be today. Fair enough, but before I go, I have something else to say. Spit it out then, let's hear it. You owe me an apology. You had no right to call me out like that in front of the team. She replies through clenched teeth. You want to step away from me, Eltimar, right now. No, actually I don't, unless you intend to make me leave. It's tempting, Eltimar. It's really fucking tempting. But no, I won't hurt you. Not unless you give me a reason to. Alright, Iger, I'll give you your space, but this conversation isn't over. It is for now, fearless leader. She turns away. Do us both a favor. Take the hint and go away. What an annoying person. Glory is beautiful, in a waifish sort of way. Her features are almost elvish. Let me restart that one. Glory is beautiful in a waifish sort of way. Her features are almost elvish in their delicacy, but there's something cold about her that you find slightly unsettling. What's more unsettling is her chrome. Glory is rocking a heavy loadout of cyberware from head to toe. She looks to be composed more of plastic and metal than she is of skin and bone. In the shadows, individuals such as this are anything but uncommon. But Glory's cyberware is first generation, all of it. Bulky, invasive, practically museum pieces. This chrome was obsolete well before she was born. Eltimar, Glory shifts her gaze to you, but her expression is as cool and placid as always. Can I help you? I have a question for you, Glory, of the personal kind. I'm not a big fan of sharing sport. Personal reasons, you understand, I'm sure. The edge in her voice tells you that she's not interested in continuing this conversation. Of course, we all have our secrets, but if you ever want to talk, I'm here. Let's not push her. We already have the ire of the team a little bit, so... Let's talk to Paul. Did we get the information about Green Winters? No, not yet. But I need to turn in that data I got, the pay data from the other thing. Anyways, we got 5 points. We should probably also use that 5 karma, which brings our karma total to 8. We can get more ranged combat, we can get more rifle skill, or we can get more quickness. I think I'll go with the ranged combat skill. Alright. Looks like we have a nice little shop going on here. Out to the street we go. There's someone named, Malit Oli. The dwarvish tech vendor smiles at you with practiced ease, her almond eyes twinkling with the glare from a dozen trid screens. She speaks in a clipped, heavily accented German. Welcome to the data heaven. Can I help you with something? I need some tech and I'm on a tight schedule. Show me what you got. What does she got? She has a lot of tech stuff, but we're not really into tech. Let's go see what else we can find around. There's a door here to the Cafe Xvim, but we'll not go there yet, or Kezve, whatever it is. There's a talisman, or talismonger's shop, and there's also another dude here named David. And David says, a pair of round eyes peer up at you from underneath the hood of a grime-smeared winter coat. You recognize him as David, one of the Kreuzbasar street kids. If you had to guess, you'd place him in his mid-teens. Though it's difficult to tell beneath the grime and acne marring his face, you've seen him following Monica around between runs, chasing her heels like a lost puppy. She always seemed to have a soft spot for the kid. Oh, hi, Eltimar. Have you seen Monica around? I've been looking all over for her. I'm afraid I have some bad news for you, kid. The kid blinks, a blank expression on his face. She's dead, isn't she? It was quick. She went peacefully. It's the most any of us can hope for. Yeah, look, I think I want to be alone right now. Sorry, bud. Let's go to the talismonger shop, just take a quick peek inside. I'm guessing this guy sells shaman-type stuff? Something about the young elf... Goddamn people with their motorcycles. Something about the young elf behind the counter makes your breath catch in your chest. She's lovely to look at, but it's a strange kind of beauty. Her eyes are large and luminous, and impossibly green. As she looks up at you, you can see that her irises are flecked with iridescent gold. Hello and welcome to Algernon's. Perhaps I can help you with something. As she smiles up at you, her eyes fixed on yours, a curious feeling of weightlessness fills your chest. It feels as though you're floating in a warm, calm sea. A gentle current pulls you closer to Absinthe, and the sensation is pleasant. As you drift, the gold specks in her eyes begin to move. Let's look deeper into her eyes. The golden specks in the elf's eyes shift and swirl, slowly picking up speed. It's mesmerizing. All at once, the specks explode into light and color. Absinthe's eyes now fill your field of vision, and it feels as if you're drowning in an alien sea. The patterns are traced by the shimmering specks in her eyes are kaleidoscopic, enchanting, and nearly impossible to turn away from. We lose ourselves. You are lost. Your entire world has been reduced to a churning vortex of green and gold. Dimly become aware that something is happening. You feel your body being buffeted by unseen forces, and suddenly everything goes black. Well, that's not good. Slowly and painfully, you struggle your way back into consciousness. The shop's owner, Algernon, is peering down at you, an expression of concern on his face. Absinthe stands beside him, her expression one of embarrassment. Welcome back, friend. Algernon extends a hand to help you back to your feet. Absinthe shifts slightly to allow you to stand. What was that? What happened? My fault, and my apologies. Sometimes when I daydream, I bring others along for the ride. It was unintentional, yes, but there's no harm done, correct? You'll be fine. No harm done. If you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go stand in the corner for a while. Can I actually buy things now? Absinthe keeps her eyes hidden from view. Excuse me, I have work to do. Greetings, young human. The elf's voice is smooth as silk and rich as clotted cream. Something about him instantly puts you at ease. I am Algernon Halfdream, the owner of this establishment. In my shop, you'll find only the finest in magical paraphernalia. Let's take a look. It is definitely spells, and it looks like some sort of caster gear, but nothing for us, unfortunately, at the moment. Let's go find a weapon shop with guns. We need guns. Guns are where we're at. Not weird, creepy elves with beautiful eyes. The Romani Patriarch is an impressive figure, an enormous man in his late 60s, burly and broad-chested despite his age. His voice is deep and resonant, and his breathing is heavy with the stench of pipe tobacco. Tavern Baxtale. You're here to conduct some business. If so, I welcome you to Metbeck Arms and Ammunition. If not, keep right on walking. Show me your goods. What do you got? He has lots of guns. We could buy a slightly different rifle, like a Ruger 100S, although can we afford it? Barely. It's more of a sniper rifle, it looks like. What assault rifles does he have, though? Lots of pistolas. Some throwing knives, of course. The AK-97 is what we currently have. Sorry about the quick cut there, I had a coughing spree. Ooh. We don't have a data jack for any of the smart link type weapons, but let's see what he has for armored equipment. So armor 4 and plus 5 hit points is kind of nice, but not really what we need. We only have very limited funds at the moment, so maybe not that. You looking for some magic mines, friend? Alright, what do you have, Zach? The elf has clearly seen better days. His skin is weathered and emaciated, as though it has been stretched too tightly over his frame. Track marks line the crooks of his arms, and dirty bandages wrap his knuckles. Despite all of this, he seems cheerful enough. The elf fixes his twinkling, bugged-out eyes on yours and offers you a broad smile, displaying a set of impossibly white teeth. When he speaks to you, his voice is surprisingly deep. Guten Tag, mein Freund. You here for some magic? Because Zach Flash, he gestures at himself in a dramatic flourish, is your magic man. Sure, I might be interested. Zach cocks his head and offers you a lopsided grin. Well then, I might be able to help you. He begins to twist a strand of his long, stringy hair around one of his spidery fingers. His smile remains fixed, a pearly crescent set into a face caked with grime. What do you got? Oh, a little bit of everything. I got your Zen and your Hyper, your Nitro and your Nova Coke if you want it. I've got it. Zach leans towards you and lowers his voice to a conspiratorial whisper. I've even got a special concoction of my own design, but I wouldn't recommend it unless you're serious about getting high. So you want to conduct a little business? Sure, what do you got? Literally just Flash, Kamikaze, and Nitro, okay. Well, I don't really want any of that. I'm looking for a very specific merchant. One that deals in augmentation. Warming herself in the dim light of a dying street lamp is a waif of a girl who looks far too worn for her years. The Mother Superior says there will be 7 for me to care for. I need to see to them. I wasn't aware of any convent or church nearby. She's there when I close my eyes, and I'm Maria. She says I'm to be governess to the children. You notice a chipjack poking out from beneath the young woman's unruly hair. The vacant look in her eyes marks her as a likely BTL junkie, lost between reality and any number of better-than-life virtual constructs. I need money to get back to them. Look, do you know Monica? Monica? Is she one of the sisters at the Abbey? No, wait, Monica. A flicker of recognition fights through the haze in the young woman's eyes. Yes, Monica, she's good to me, brings me food to eat, and tea to drink. I'm afraid I have some bad news. Despite the woman's persistent delirium, she seems to glean meaning from your tone. She died? That's right. The girl grips her head with claw-like hands, tugging at her hair as if she might pull her brain out through her skull. I don't like this, but I can switch it off. The girl's frail body shudders and her eyes grow large, but she does not sob. Instead, she smiles a sad smile, which looks to have been worn all too often. She will go to heaven, she told me. It is a place for good people and stillborn babies and childhood pets, and she was a good person. The girl begins to mumble to herself while fingering the hair that covers the jack in her head. The story sounds familiar. Captain Von Trapp is well known and well respected. The poor dear lost his wife and the children and their mother. A child should not be without a mother, and a mother should not be without a child. Have you seen the captain? I gotta go. It's good, I need to rejoin the children. You are not the person I was looking for. The phone is ringing. Let's go answer the phone. It's an old, obsolete phone booth. It's ringing. I pick up the receiver. A monotone, pitch-adjusted voice begins speaking almost immediately. The Shockwell and Reichters contact for this Kies is no more. Eltimar is listed as a follow-up contact. This is our only secured line to this Kies. Please listen to the following instructions carefully if you are a supporter of our cause. Continue listening. We have phone booths in strategic locations throughout the city. Within each you may find a request posted for specific information. If you can obtain this information, return here and submit it via the port below the receiver. We will verify the authenticity of the information remotely and post an undoctored copy of it into the Matrix ourselves. It is our stated goal for this information to remain free to all. However, you'll be compensated for this sought-after information. Return to this location. The line goes silent. I hang up the receiver. I can't put anything there currently, I guess. Alright, well, we need to find a place. And we haven't found the place yet. Maybe it's this building. Lane is here. Before you stands a troll. Though it is a stretch to say he is standing at all. His great mass is barely held upright by two vintage prosthetic legs, along with a crutch under one arm. His body clicks and hums with every shift of his weight. Despite these disabilities, his eyes are sharp and calculating. I know you. I should hope so. One of Monica's runners then, is it? Few others wield an ego that big. I'm Eltimar, by the way. Good to meet you, Eltimar. The name is Alexei Lane. There's... What's your place here in the Kreuzbasar? No place really, just an old relic rusting away. There's something you should know about Monica. Something happened to her on the run. How'd you know? It was written all over your face. I had a feeling besides. Monica almost always comes after a run to check in on everybody. She's long overdue, and now you're here in her place. Shows she's either severely wounded or outright dead. Which is it? We lost her. The grizzled troll nods grimly. The servos in his prosthetics complain as he lets loose a heavy sigh. Now that is a shame. She was a hell of a runner, that one. And a good friend. LBB. At the sound of your approach, the orc turns to face you. He wears a severe expression, but there's a kindness in his eyes. Ah, hello, human. As you can see, I'm in the middle of a conversation with my assistant. The volunteer worker holds her silence, but her expression is full of naked hostility. Samuel gives her a sidelong glance, and she seems to get the message. The fire in her eyes dies down to a low simmer. But we do not want to be impolite. Is there something I can do for you? I couldn't help overhearing your conversation. I take it that you run a charity of some sort? He nods. Yes, it isn't much, but we do what we can. Like? He clears his throat and begins to count off his fingers. In the past several years, I have established a shelter where the dispossessed can sleep, a soup kitchen to feed the hungry, and a library for the people of the Kreuzbasar to better themselves. It isn't much, I admit, but it's a start. A good start, Samuel. You mustn't be so hard on yourself. There are limits to what one man, even a determined man, can accomplish. This is true. He nods to the orc at his side. Thankfully, some of the residents that I've helped over the years have come back around to help me. I've got 15 assorted orcs and trolls from all around the Kreuzbasar working with me now. They help me man the soup line, stock the library shelves, and do all the hundreds of other things that a community organization needs done every day. These extraordinary individuals are living proof that what we do here has a value. They are my inspiration to continue forward. She beams at the compliment. From her body language, it's clear that she idolizes Beckenbauer. Now, do you have any more questions? If not, I will bid you good day. I don't want to sound self-important or rude, but there are many pressing matters that demand my time. 15 assorted orcs and trolls. Does that mean other races aren't welcome within your organization? That's taking a rather narrow view of what we do. Yes, it's true, my assistants are all members of the goblinoid races. It's also true that before they accepted my help, they were thieves, gangsters, and deadbeats. This is not because they were bad people. This is because those of us with goblinoid traits are feared, mistreated, and denied gainful employment by a society that hates us. I hire only goblinoids because mainstream human society has created a need for me to hire only goblinoids. The orcs and trolls of the Kreuzbasar deserve a workplace where they'll be treated with dignity and respect. All that being said, our services are available to all. We won't turn a desperate person away regardless of that person's metatype. Even humans, the most privileged of all races, are welcome at our door. Isn't that what's most important? I'll reserve judgment. You're helping people and that's what's important. He nods slightly. Good of you to understand. Now, is there something else that you'd like to talk about? Anything else we can say? We can donate, but we don't have any money, so no questions, just passing by. So we can't go inside. I'm not seeing any sort of center where I can... Is there a map button? I can't remember for the life of me. It's not. Alright, let's go talk to that guy, I guess. Have you been? No, we haven't been in there yet. That's where we have to go. Just gonna do one more quick glance around. Besides, we're almost out of time on this video anyways. We can go to the dancer's bag. What happens if you do that? Tip the dancer? No, I'm good. There's nobody else watching her at the moment. Kinda weird. Maybe if we go down into the U-Bahn platforms, we can find some other stores. Well, there's nobody down here, so I'm gonna go with no. We'll check the other one quickly, and then we'll call it a video. I thought there was a Cybernetics person somewhere, but I could be mistaken, unless they're over here, maybe. There's the Triage Cyber Clinic. That's the one I want to go to. They probably have the cyber stuff that we're looking for. Dr. Xavier... I can't forget his name because it keeps disappearing. As you approach the elf, you notice that he's in mid-conversation. His lips move rapidly, and his voice comes out in a low, quiet tone. A glossy plastic shell of a high-grade comlink glints on his wrist. We'll wait for him to finish. You step away from the doctor and wait for him to finish. Soon enough, he presses a button on his comlink and looks up at you, a $1 million smile on his face. Sorry about the wait, my friend. Welcome to the Triage Cyber Clinic. He extends his hands towards you. I'm Dr. Xavier Ezkibble, and your name is? Eltimar. A pleasure. Pleased to meet you, Eltimar. What can I do for you today? I need cyberware. There we go. Now we can pick out stuff. You have to be kind of careful, though, because these things are permanent changes. We could get a data jack so we can use data jack guns, but we don't really need to. Although we could. There's nothing stopping us from doing so. It's only $500. I think I will wait on the data jack, or maybe we could use our arm to do one of them, but plus some quickness might be nice too. The as technology cyber leg is kind of nice, but they're all basic, so we don't really want to waste our money and our slots, our essence slots, on basic items. So we're gonna call it a video here. In the next video we'll actually do the storyline stuff. Like always, if you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, I'll see you all next time. Take care.